Greetings, traders. This is Coach Alex. Today we want to talk about the confusion that sometimes results from someone entering our trading room without understanding what we do. First of all, we have two kinds of traders who populate our trading room. Both are great clients. Some are scalp traders looking for short bursts of profits with a minimum of risk, 20 to 30 points. Others are swing traders. They're looking for a more substantial move, which will last sometimes 2 or 3 hours and for about 25% of the time, overnight trades, especially if you're up more than 2%. So let's just review what happened the other day and why I got reports that a couple of new traders were confused. First of all, you're going to be confused if you haven't taken any of our courses or any of our training, just like you'd be confused if you watched your favorite orthopedic surgeon performing spinal surgery. You could watch 2 or 3 close-up encounters, including being at the hospital, and I guarantee you at the third visit you wouldn't be able to do a complete back surgery yourself. You'd be confused. You have to go to medical school. Well, our program is less than half of the time it would spend at the Wharton School of Business, which is 2 years. The longest our program lasts is a 1 year monitored program of training. So let's talk about what we first do when we come on in the morning. And we notice that 30% of the clients will not write down what we call our numbers. So here's an example of what we did. Going on to the 23rd. Time was 8:04 a.m. and we're talking about Eastern time. I'm in the central time zone of Florida, but we broadcast everything in relationship to Eastern time. We talk about the high, low, and close of the previous day, which gives us our daily pivot. It's an influential point that many traders follow. Above the pivot is bullish, below it is bearish. And of course, you need to combine a couple of other indicators. But here's where we start getting into support and resistance. When it's published on the opening of the day, or in other words, when you first come in the room at 8 o'clock, or sometimes some people come in earlier, this is the swing point numbers. If you notice, you've got about a 624 point range. We don't use that for scalp trading. So you have to identify, which would be more helpful if you set up an initial consultation with us, whether you are a scalp trader or whether you're a swing trader. If you're a scalp trader, you're not going to use a 600-point stop. And I'll be honest with you, most of our swing traders don't use 600-point stops. Well, if you notice this morning, that day, we had our resistance at 41,200 and our support of 40,824. The volatility, which is another matter we can get into another time, is the duration and the amplitude of the swings. So at 8:04, you guys knew that we had resistance at 41,200 and we were waiting Jerome Powell's speech at 10 a.m. Now, the trend was up. We were buying. So we take our numbers from our institutional friends and we share this information that we get from our big accounts, the big boys. We let you know what they know. Okay. So what does it mean, resistance of 41,200? Well, we were bullish in the morning, we were buying, but we know where they're selling. So we made a comment that the big boys are selling before the report, before Powell started speaking, and there were numbers, which were new home sales at 10 a.m. So he started speaking and the numbers of new home sales. We expected this report to be bullish. We expected that more substantial traders or larger accounts can take a risk before the announcement and stay long. So if you're long, you should know where the institutions are going to sell. Where do you think they're going to sell? At resistance, at this area here, 41,200. Well, that can be a little misleading to some traders, right, who think that the market is going to go down because the big boys are selling scale up. No, once the market, here's when we made our comment in the room that we are long, but the big boys are selling. Yeah, they're selling. They started selling a little bit at 41,100. So when the news came out, the market exploded upward. But look at the time, 9:59, 10 o'clock. It only took 16 minutes for us to reach our objective. How the institutions work is they have a target on the upside, and if traders are buying, they're going to start selling into that resistance. That doesn't mean it's a scalp trade where you should go short. When we made this announcement right here at 9:57, you could see the vertical line. The market was trading at 41,002. We expected it to go up as much as 200 points, and it did. So if you were long prior to the report, you'd be making your money somewhere between 4180, 41,080 over here to 41,200. But if you were bearish, or if you wanted to take profits on the long and begin to scale in short, remember, for a swing trader, 100 points is not a big move. And the market performed exactly as we expected it to. So if you were confused, thinking the big boys were selling at this level, that you should be short down here, big mistake. And that happened to a couple of traders who didn't want to take the time of understanding our methodology and the terminology that we use. That's too bad. Well, like any other profession, you should start learning a little bit. Don't just come into the room and start trading away without knowing what the heck we're doing. You will lose money. But if you looked at this market, first of all, the first part of the 41,200, that wasn't too bad. You got close to a 90-point decline and more from the highs where it did reach on the way down. Nice little trade, right? As you could see, it went a little bit above where they started selling. You could sell all you wanted at this level, and then later on, within a half an hour of the high, so they get what we call the 1030 reversal. Look at that market comes all the way down just about to the point where it started. That's a nice 2 to 250 point profit for those who scaled in short. So to recap, if you started with us right before the market made its move at 9:57, we're long because the institution's going to push it up in order to sell. Obviously, if they have sell orders, they're going to push it up to the sell orders. So understand that first. If you're bearish, wait for them to push it up before it starts coming down with certain setups that we use. But otherwise, if you're a short-term scalper and we're going long right before that 10 o'clock report, well, there's a very easy way of taking advantage of it. You take the previous resistance, put a buy stop, and as soon as that stop is hit, all the shorts are going to be scared, stopped out, at a loss. They have to cover. It pushes it right into the institutional level, giving plenty of time to take profits and to start a scale up short. So both trades, the long for very quick, less than 10 minutes profit, and those who wanted to wait a little bit longer and had the capital to do it, you had a nice sell off starting around the 1030 reversal, which we talk about, we teach, And so for 20 minutes, it ran down. You should have been 2 for 2. Very happy to start your weekend. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube, help us out. We'll produce more videos like this. And for further information on how you could take advantage of these kind of trades that we give you well in advance, give us a call. Current number is 332-999-3110. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you in the room tomorrow, Monday.